Hello, and join me on today's podcast. I'm going to be talking about how to get more free traffic for your website, for your new website. And I'm going to be giving step-by-step instruction. And this has essentially come up as a question that I've seen has been asked a lot of times by a lot of people. When the question came in many different phrases, such as, how do I get traffic to my website? What do I do to get my website going? Another question came as, how do I get traffic to a newly created small website? And how do I get traffic to the right, how do I get the right traffic to my website? And the last question said, how can I get traffic step by step to my new website without paid ads? And so today I wanted to tackle that question and really go in depth and give you all the, the meat and bones on how to go about creating and getting your traffic in the most efficient and effective way possible. So the first thing, step one, what you want to do is you want to know where your customers are on their journey, right? And I've created this presentation so that I can show you exactly how this works visually. So you want to know where your customers are on their mind in terms of understanding their problems, to discovering the solution, to discovering you. And we refer to these as hot, cold, or warm traffic. And so when we say that the traffic is cold traffic, usually what we mean is the traffic is very far on their journey. They don't know, they only know their problems. They're only starting to understand that they have a problems, but they don't really know anything else aside from that. So they may start describing what their situation in relation to how they're feeling, if it's in relation to their body, or how they're feeling in relation to everything else outside around them. So, for example, if you take in the weight loss, market, they may describe, their problem as having a lot of shortness of breath, or they may describe as if they're getting tired a lot more, or they're feeling slow or sluggish, or they may use these words to describe how they're feeling, but nothing to do with weight loss so far, because all the understanding at the beginning is a problem. And if you're looking in terms of affiliate marketing or content marketing or anything, the first thing people start to describe it is, how do I get more people to my offer, to my page, to my website? And so you describe it using the problem. Then next we have the warm traffic. With warm traffic, now the traffic has progressed, one step further. So they know the problem, which is what they were feeling. Now they also know that there is a solution. So, they start realizing, okay, so my problem is weight gain, right? And if I want to lose weight, there must be a solution. The solution could be dieting. It could be exercise. It could be, different strategies, workout strategies that could really help improve that. And so this traffic, warm traffic, is slightly further. And what you want to know and what you want to do is, if the traffic is cold, you want to talk to them in relation to the problem. You want to talk to them about the problem. And when the traffic is warm, you want to talk to them about the solution. And then the next we have is hot traffic. With hot traffic, they know the problem, they know the solution, they also know who has the solution. In this case, they also know who you are. And so when the traffic is hot, what we do is we usually start talking about the benefits that they're going to get by using our solution, because at this stage, essentially, they know that, weight gain is the problem, and fitness or dieting is a solution. And if you use the example of a keto diet, then they will say, keto diet is, the guys at keto diet who I can go to. Then they may start comparing, well, what are the benefits? What are the side effects? And so here's where you start talking about the benefits of your solution, because at this stage, essentially, what they're looking for, searching for, is comparing to see what else they can get, what other better offers are out there. So now that we know about our traffic, the next thing we need to think about is in terms of how we can communicate with them. The language, we need to be able to interrupt the thoughts that are going through their minds. And the best way to interrupt these so that we can have a meaningful conversation that ends up in a transaction is, we need to understand the problems that they're facing. We need to understand the questions that they have. We need to understand the roadblocks that they're facing that are preventing them from getting the solution. And then we need to understand the results. So if you talk about the problem, one of the things that they may be facing at the beginning, as you know, is they have a problem that they need to solve. And so this will be usually cold traffic. All they can think about is traffic. And all they can think about is the problem. The next thing is, you need to think about the question, right? The questions that they're having usually will be more on the warm traffic and hot traffic. They'll be asking, well, what's the best? Which is the cheapest? Exercising or keto diet, which is the most energy demanding, or which is the most easiest to achieve? What's the fastest way to to lose weight in 20 in 20 weeks? So these are the questions be going on through their mind, and at this stage, it's essentially warm traffic. And so by knowing the questions that they're thinking about, the questions that are keeping them awake at night, we can interrupt those, the thoughts that are going through in their mind. The next thing that you want to think about and find out is the roadblocks that are preventing them, right? So we already know the questions. There are things that are preventing them from achieving the result that they want, and those will be the roadblocks. Knowing the roadblocks means that we can understand what has stopped them from making the purchase in the past, and then by addressing those, we are essentially addressing those objections to get them to the point where they want to be, which is having the results that they want. And so by knowing the results, the roadblocks, the questions, and the problems, we can start interrupting the thoughts by creating content and copy, sales copy, that essentially brings them to our website and allows them to make a sale, to make a purchase. After that, the next thing we want to know is we want to have a strategic plan on how to find them, how to find our dream, customers, how to drive them from where they are to our newly created website. And what we need is a game plan of how we're going to get them from where they are. And then the next thing is we need to understand that there are two ways of getting traffic, and the traffic essentially can be divided into two ways. One is search-based traffic. This is when when your customers are searching for you, they're searching for solutions. They're searching for solutions to their questions, to their problems, to their roadblocks. And the next is social-based traffic. This is when traffic is busy engaging on social media, and then you go and interrupt them and get them to notice you, to notice that you can help them. So by understanding this means that we can start shaping where we are going and how we are going about getting traffic. So the plan here becomes, the goal here becomes, first, finding search-based traffic, and then next we go and find social-based traffic, and then we build a list. So that's the goal plan. And the whole idea in doing that is to essentially convert traffic that we do not own into traffic that we do own, if that makes sense. So how we're going to go about finding the search-based traffic is, if you take the example of creating a video, you can create a video which can be put on YouTube, but you can also take that video and strip out the audio and use that essentially for podcasts and other podcast channels such as Anchor, Spotify, and Apple. I think iTunes has a place for that. And then you can transcribe that audio and turn it into a blog post for Medium and other platforms for blogging, including your website, if you want to use that. So what you've done is you've created one piece of content, and you can leverage it in three ways. And that becomes a very easy and effective ways. And since you already know the problems, questions, and roadblocks, as well as the solutions that they want, the results that they want, you know already what kind of content and how you're going to go about creating that. So now that you've done that, the next thing we want to do is we want to start targeting social-based traffic. And this part becomes really easy once you already have the search-based traffic, because what it means is you can break down your search-based content, such as if you have your video, you can also post a video on Facebook and create small Insta stories as well. You can post that on Instagram. And if you have a podcast, you can post snippets on Twitter, quotes on Twitter, linking it back to your podcast. And if you have Medium, you can also take snippets posted on Twitter, and any of the visual you can be put on Pinterest to direct back to your website page. And so by creating that, essentially you've taken a lot of content addressing the problems, questions, roadblocks, and the result that they want, and you've created one piece of content that you can leverage in multiple ways throughout. Now, that said, you're probably thinking, well, are there any other ways that are much faster? Yes, there are other ways. And other ways will include going to places where your ideal dream customers and clients, where your traffic is congregating, and finding them and driving them back to your website. And for example, if you go to Facebook groups, you can find them there where they're looking for solutions to the problems. So if you search for groups that your ideal customer will search for, or if you go to forums and question and answer sites such as Quora, Reddit, and Yahoo Answers, you can find them there searching for solutions, and then you can help them address those questions, roadblocks, problems, and results, right? So if you enjoy this content, thank you so much. Subscribe for more content like this every day, and I will talk to you on our next episode of the Marketer's Lighthouse. Thank you very much, and good evening.